Carolyn King has done it again. Her newest set, Stamp It Big 2, is her second addition to her best-selling Stamp It Big line. The fabulous, bold greetings are great for both card making and scrapbooking. One of my favorite images in the Stamp It Big 2 set is the house stamp. So today on Stamp TV, I'm going to show you how to make a little house-shaped card. Let me show you the tools and products you need to make this project. First, you're going to need the stamps from the Stamp It Big stamp set. And I have this really large house stamp, which is perfect for this mini card. And then I have the greeting from the Stamp It Big 2 set that says thanks. Now for inside the card, I'm using one of the greetings from the new One Free with 3 called A Little Something. So I'm going to use the thank you greeting from that and the little heart stamp from that. So that will be for inside the card. Then you're going to need some ink, and I'm using two of the Gina K Design inks. I'm using the Black Onyx and also the Innocent Pink. I have some of the We Are Memory Keepers red twine, baker's twine, and I have one of the buttons from the Gina K Designs Coffee House button box. I have some pattern papers here. These are from our own line, the Gina K Designs Love Letters collection. And then I have some red hot cardstock and some white cardstock. Now to assemble the little house, I'm going to need one little strip of score tape. You can either use 1/4 inch score tape or you can use the 1/8 of an inch score tape. And I just happen to have some 1/8 of an inch laying around, so I'm going to use that today. You're also going to need the score buddy or some sort of scoring device and some scissors for cutting your twine. And then you'll need a glue dot, and I have a little strip of glue dots here. You're going to need a glue dot to adhere the button element onto your card. So let's begin by getting some stamping done with the house. I'm going to stamp the house on 3 different pieces of paper here. I'm going to stamp it onto the red hot cardstock and then also onto both pieces of pattern paper. And this house fits really nicely on a piece of 6x6 pattern paper cut in half. So this is a 3-inch panel. So you can make several out of one pack of pattern paper. I'm going to ink this up using the Black Onyx ink. And then I'm going to stamp that onto this red hot cardstock. Once here. And then I'm going to need the heart image. So I'm going to just ink part of the house up, and I'm going to stamp that right up here just so that I can cut out that heart image in red. So that'll be up there. Then I'm going to stamp it again onto this piece of pattern paper. And again, this is from our Love Letters collection. So I'll stamp that down here, like that, and I'm going to stamp it on this piece too. Right there. I'll set these aside give them a second to dry. And then I'm going to go back to this red panel, and I'm going to stamp the word thanks right into that heart. So I'm going to do that also with the Black Onyx. So I'll stamp that. Excuse my head in the way. You want to stamp that a little bit high up onto the heart because we're going to put that little button element right below it. And then we're also going to stamp this little inside panel. This is going to be actually the back part of my card, and that's where I want my greeting. So let's use this little thank you greeting. I can never see what it says until I ink it up. This is what would I do without you? And that's going to go right here. What would I do without you? And then I'm going to use some of the Innocent Pink in our pattern paper, the Love Letters collection. This is Innocent Pink, matches our Innocent Pink ink pad. So I'm going to place a little heart over here to tie in that whole love and heart theme onto the inside of my card. And I'll stamp that right a little bit over the greeting like that. So you can see how that turned out. What would I do without you? This is a nice card to send or to give to any of those people that help you so much in your life. Now I'm going to grab the Score Buddy, and I'm going to lay this panel up against the Score Buddy, and I'm going to score right there on that first little line where the dot is. So the first, kind of the first line over. Now for the measurements for this card, you're going to want to be watching this on Stamp TV at stamptv.com, and all of the measurements will be right next to the video or underneath the video screen when you go to our videos page. So you'll be able to find all the different measurements. So now I did a little score line there, and that's going to allow the card to open. And you'll see what I mean in just a minute. So let's adhere these two panels together. And now I have the inside of my card ready to go. And now I just need to create my little house panel. So there's for the inside. And that's ready. So I'll put that aside. Now we're going to do a little bit of paper piecing. So I want to cut out this entire house because this is going to be the whole front of my card. And then I want to cut out just the heart for this panel. I'm going to cut the bottom part out because the bottom part of my house is going to be this sandy beach color. And I'm going to cut the roof out of the red, so I have a red roof. So I'm going to cut those out, starting with this card base. And at first you might think, oh, I have to cut that out. That's going to be hard, but it is so easy because it's pretty much just straight lines going everywhere. There's a couple little curvy lines right here, but you don't even really have to cut those out if you don't want to. You can just cut a little bit below them. And so I'm going to continue to cut these out. And I'll be back when they're all trimmed out and ready for the next step. Here are all the pieces cut out, including the little house, the bottom of the house, the roof, and the little heart. Now you can adhere these pieces onto your main house by using Quickie glue or any kind of glue, but because they're nice big chunky panels, you can use tape, and tape is always so easy to work with. So that's what I'm going to do. Just use a little bit of tape, and then you want to line that up. Put your first piece on. So there is the base part of my house. The next piece is going to be the roof. So I'll add a little bit of tape to the roof here and add that on. And it's very easy to line up. You just match the lines and then stick. Now before I put the heart on, I'm going to put these two panels together, but you don't want to tape them completely on top of each other because you won't be able to open it. So I'm going to use that little piece of score tape that I have right here. I'm going to just rip off a little piece, and then I can trim it up once I get it onto my piece of cardstock here. So that's kind of one of the nice perks of score tape, is it's so easy to tear. Love score tape. Okay, and so there, put that piece of score tape on, and let me pull off this piece, and then we're just going to line those up on the back here. Like that, and press down nice and hard there. And now when you open this up, you're going to fold right on that score line there. You see that score line? This is where we're going to fold. We're just going to fold it back. And now you have your little greeting inside of that house. So now we're going to easily adhere this heart onto the front over that heart that's there. And now we're going to make our little button element. And we're going to do that by cutting a piece of this baker's twine. And we're going to start by feeding into the two opposite holes. So it's going to go in the front first on two holes, like that. And then flip it over. It's going to come back through the opposite holes. So come back through this hole and back through the last hole. So now you can tie it into a little loop or a little knot, whatever you want. I'm going to actually tie a little bow, because I think that will look cute on the front of the card with a little bow. And then you can pull it and make it smaller so that it matches the size of your card project. We don't need too big of a bow on a tiny little card. So that should look good. And then I'm just going to cut off those little edges here, like that. And that little button is going to go right on my heart using one of these glue dots. And these are very easy to use. I think we have them now on a roll, but it's the same concept. They just come out in a line of glue dots, and you grab one, if you can see that little dot on there, and you press that dot onto whatever element you want to stick to your card, and then remove the plastic piece, and then just press it with some good force right onto your project, and that will hold very, very well. So there is, let me show you the inside one more time. The little house, thanks. What would I do without you? So there is my finished card project. Although you can do this same card and lay the entire house on a regular A2 card base for mailing, this adorable little house card by itself is perfect for sending a little message to someone special, hanging on the Christmas tree, or placing on a new neighbor's porch with a small welcoming gift.